overhauled in the NFL?
Absolutely, and first and foremost, they need to be honest about what it is. Mike Pereira said it better than I can say it, which is, if you're telling us the standard is incontrovertible video evidence, then you're not applying the standard there. That play was called on the field a touchdown. No matter how many angles you show me, you cannot convince me you had incontrovertible video evidence that his left foot, once he had control, was not touching the turf. Was it? I don't know. Was it? If I had to bet my life, I would say no. It probably wasn't, actually. But that's not incontrovertible video proof. And if the NFL wants the standard to be, once we go to replay, the call on the field is irrelevant, and we will just try to get the call right, then make that the standard. I would prefer replay be used to only correct glaringly obvious errors. That is the reason we brought replay back, was because Vinny Testaverde, well, one of the reasons, but the famous play was Vinny Testaverde was 2 yards short of the end zone. They gave him a touch, and they're like, we can't have mistakes like this deciding football games. A glaringly obvious error, if they wanted to make the standard, you can look at it for 30 seconds. 30 seconds, and if you cannot change the call, it stands, then fine. But doing this is not getting calls right, is not making the game better, is not making the experience better for the viewer or the player. So, yeah, I would say it needs to be overhauled.
I'm just going to go with the wide receiver. He didn't catch the ball clean the first time. His left foot, it initially touched the ground, but it came off the ground. You can see right here where his left foot hit the ground, but he didn't have possession of the football. Watch his foot hit the ground.
Yep.
Right there, his foot hit the ground. He didn't have possession in. Watch the ball. That's not possession. That's possession.
And he's out. Know he's not touching there. You know he's not.
You know the reason why? Because the pellets off the ground, if his left foot would have hit, the pellets would have come off the ground.
But, Cece, you told me that in the cold weather, the pellets don't always pop like they do.
No, they don't come up as much. But if your foot hits the ground, you can see it steps before that. The pellets came off the ground. Watch his left foot hit initially. The pellets came off the ground. He didn't have the ball. Like, the problem for you is, when does he have possession of the football? And if you had a better understanding of when he had possession, I think the instant
I understand when he had possession. It is not about this particular play, and it is not about me understanding when he had possession.
He finally has possession right there.
Yes.
He's out of bounds. Because his right foot was in, his left foot was off the ground.
He definitely wasn't out of bounds yet. The question is whether or not his left foot was on the ground or not. I don't think you can definitively say that. And I'm
okay.
Cece, and here's the thing, though.
His foot's off the ground, Nick.
Cece, if you...
I can see it with my own naked eye. His foot is off the ground.
Would you concede this if you, a Hall of Fame receiver, looks at that and says, clearly incomplete pass, and Mike Pereira, the former head of officiating, looks at it and says, the call should have stood, that we have a problem? If two experts in the field can look at the same thing and say, have different opinions...
Mike Pereira don't have no show. You asked me. Right from the beginning, I thought that he didn't have it.
Okay.
Okay? It's not as if all these calls are going to be clear. Yes, but what is the letter of the law? Okay? The letter of the law is possession of the football, 2 and 1 body part.
Correct.
All right?
But the letter of the law, CC, is incontrovertible video evidence. The call on the field was a touchdown. If the call on the field was an incompletion, I have no problem with this. That letter of the law is not being abided by. You think that was incontrovertible. No question about it.
I know his left foot was off the ground. I know he didn't have control of the ball. To me, it was easy because he didn't have the ball initially. All right? His right foot was in. His left foot crossed over when he had possession, which means he's out. All right, I know they ruled on the field, but I could see he did not get his left foot in because that's not a catch right there. He has possession now. His left foot's off the ground. So to me, it's a lot easier.
Is there some semblance of a compromise when it comes to this? Would you be happy if they're not going to overhaul the rule, but if they put a time constraint on it?
They had a time constraint on it. When the rule first came out, Cece, you remember that? It was 90 seconds. You don't? Yes, you do.
I don't remember it was a time.
When they first brought replay back, The rule was, and the broadcast used to even play like music during it and do a countdown. It was 90 seconds. That if you have not made a judgment within 90 seconds, call in the field stands.
Okay.
And the argument there was, if you can't figure it out within a minute and a half, it must not be incontrovertible. It must not be clear and obvious. But my question for you is this, Chris. Is this what they were trying to do when they brought replay back? Were these the things they were trying to fix, or were they trying to fix obvious errors?
Nick, I wasn't on the committee for replay. I was on the committee for the catch.
Yep.
So what we tried to do with the catch was exactly what we're doing there. All right. Now, what are the mechanics of the broadcasting? Why they did all that? That committee, that's above my pay grade. All right. But that was not a catch. Forget replay. That was not a catch. Reason why? Because he didn't catch the ball the first time when his left foot went in. As far as doing replay, how much time, that's for someone else. You guys have Pereira in here and have him discuss that. But from a technical standpoint, it wasn't a catch.
Okay, I mean, but we're not, I mean, we're having two different discussions. We're not asking, I'm asking you if you think replay should be used for this type of thing, or if it should be used.
Yes, I think we should utilize replay. It helps. It takes the human element out of it, and you're going to get more calls right than you are wrong.
And I think your point is that also that everything evens out, really, when it comes to this stuff. I mean, although we have had quite a few of these in the last couple of weeks, and that's why they're highlighted.
It's up to the player. If he catches the ball clean, the replay, Nick don't have to worry about that. Just like last week. No one told Jesse James to fall. No one told Kelvin Benjamin to bobble the ball first. Catch it clean. Make it easier on yourself. The rules are clear.
Last week the question was not about whether or not it was a catch or not. We all agreed that by the rule it was not a catch. Like last week it was a separate discussion.
No, you said at every level of football this is a catch.
But we understood that in
so
pro
everyone
football,
wasn't agreeing.
Okay, but we understood in pro football last week that Jesse James thing was not a catch.
In pro football, the reason why that wasn't a touchdown was because he bobbled the ball at the beginning.
Okay.
So what's the difference?
The difference is the NFL has said that the rule on the field is the word of God unless we have obvious evidence, unless it is obvious that it was wrong.
Yep.
You cannot convince me that was obvious because when you